You and Chris are going to be in here talking about God knows what.
We're goofy as run over dogs. What can I say?
He would not let me do that on camera. I did it on camera, but not on mic.
Well, you know. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome once again to another episode of the Retro Show. The Retro Show is to growing up in the 70s and 80s, much like Chris and I did.
Growing up loosely. Let's use
yes.
Loosely.
Hold on loosely.
Wrong band.
I know. Wrong band. Ladies and gentlemen, just to give you the topic for today when we get around to it, and we will, Aerosmith announces their retirement. So we're going to be talking about that a little bit. Kind of reiterating the fact of going to see bands while you still can, you know.
It's that old adage, but all good things must come to an end. And at some point, you can no longer do the things you used to do.
Tell me about it. I have a story about that. See there how you led me into this.
Well,
you opened the door. I'm going through the door.
It's what I do.
It is. So, true story. A couple of years ago, I am volunteering. No, I'm sorry. I work for this organization. I was voluntold to be there.
Gotcha.
And it was a family day. So, you know, all these families are coming. And we are... You know, I'm helping out, and I'm on water patrol right there. My job is to make sure bottled water goes to all the different locations where we're doing bottled water. So I have this old company pickup truck that they have, and I'm unloading bottled water. Well, as we start to get towards the back, I climb up into the bed, hand some water, and then jump out of the bed.
Nope.
No. I'm telling you, about halfway down, I went, oh, yeah, I'm not 20. And I hit. Dude, I felt that. I felt that in the knees and in the soul.
Listen, man, I crawled in the back of my truck. It was last week. As a matter of fact, I was, my daughter graduated high school. She's going to Central Arkansas.
Daddy's money's going to 2 colleges.
That's right. So I've got Arkansas dad on the back of my truck. So I had to put a UCA dad on the back of my truck, remove all the softball stuff and all that off, and I went to get out of the truck and I stepped over the tailgate and I was like, ooh, that's high. Ooh,
that's high.
Ooh, be careful, don't slip. Oh, that's going to hurt if I fall.
That's going to hurt if I fall.
That all went through my brain, so I get it.
You know, it's funny because when we were kids, and I've told this story here before, if you're familiar with having the swing set in the backyard, you know, the one that your dad never actually secured in the ground like we were supposed to, and the little things would come up and you got to swing and roll, you know.
Yes, I do.
And so... I remember being on that, and the thing we would do, the kids, we would get on there, we would swing as high as we could, and we would launch ourselves into space, and we would do that all day. Okay? Yeah. As a teenager, you and I would go up to the Narrows at Greer's Ferry, and we would climb up on these cliffs, and we would jump off into the lake, I mean from up 15, 20 feet, all day long. I hurt myself getting out of bed 2 weeks ago.
Right.
I bounded out of bed, and I shouldn't bound at 58 years old. I'm just telling you, bounding is now off the table.
There's got to be some adrenaline involved to cover up all the rest of that stuff.
So you know what caused that? That caused me to jump out of bed like that?
No, I'm saying that has to, because if you just bound out of bed, you're going to pull something.
No,
but if you got some adrenaline.
No, well, when you hear your dog go, you know that sound?
Yeah. Oh.
I'm up, and I got out of bed, and I felt it when it happened, and I went, I'm going to pay for that later today. And I did. I've been down on my back for almost 2 weeks.
Yep.
So, yeah.
It
was a fun July, people. Let's see, DVT, COVID, and then back. So.
Think about that.
Yeah, there you go.
Drink local, ladies and gentlemen.
And he is, too. Lost 40, second rodeo. One of the very light, drinkable. We like it. You guys could actually sponsor us. Just say, you know, You could.
I mean, there's a lot of microbreweries around here that could step up to the plate.
They could. They could, but, there you go. And take advantage of the tens of listeners that we would draw to your business.
Right. I mean,
that's all I'm saying.
Some of those are some power drinkers. I'm just saying.
Speaking of listeners, it's time now to spotlight the best listeners in the world. And you know what those listeners are? Those are our producers who pony up $3 a month here on the Retro Show.
They are.
They are. And you too could do that. You can go to retroshow.net. In addition to everything else that you'll find there, you can find out how to be a show producer. What that means, Chris, is they pony up $3 a month for this quality entertainment.
$3.
They will find nowhere else.
I mean, $3.
$3.
They don't even have a dollar menu anymore. Think about that.
I know. It is sad what is on a dollar menu now.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
What's that? Coffee? Ice in your water? Okay, I just did the voice and I realized where that was coming from. Debbie and I have gotten on a kick of watching old sitcoms.
Oh, yeah.
And we started watching Newhart again with Larry, his brother Daryl, and his other brother Daryl.
Yeah.
And I realized that was the only reason back in the day that I used to watch that is to see those guys show up because they are literally, to me, the funniest part of that entire sitcom.
Bob Newhart had a great career.
He really did.
Yeah, he was a funny guy.
And he recently passed, too. It wasn't that long ago.
Yeah, I knew he'd passed, but I couldn't remember when.
I mean, it was like when he passed, he was one of those guys that I was like going, oh, he was still alive.
He was probably one of the best one-sided phone conversation people, comedy act that I've ever seen.
Yeah,
he was hilarious.
Those bits they still play,
yeah.
On some of the satellite radio stations, but they're really funny. Folks, the producers of the Retro Show are, kick it off,
LNC Corporation. Yeah.
Do you?
You don't want to go there.
Do you?
You don't want to go there.
You don't want to go there. Terry Schatz, also a producer.
Kate Salter.
Yeah, thank you, Kate.
Yep.
Roger McDougal.
Melinda Hignite.
Dusty Breeze. I'm not going to do it. He knows.
Kevin Goff. Thanks, Kevin.
Norton. Chris B.
Nancy Schwartz.
Joshua Ramsey.
Oh, Josh Ramsey. I can't skip not doing that. I mean, that is the most awesome name.
He does. Josh has a great name. Fran Adams.
Fran Adams.
EM, one of our third producer on here. Yep. And then
Behemoth Mason. Behemoth. I'm not giving you. We're taking your first name away.
It's
now.
Donna's husband.
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, Donna's husband.
And our first producer ever, Tanya Highland.
Tanya Highland. Thank you so much, folks, for being producers on this show. If you'd like to do it, go to retroshow.net. And did you know what perk they get for being a producer on here? Getting their names read off here.
That is a perk.
It is a perk.
I mean,
on there,
the people pay tens of cents to hear this.
If you guys come up to us, like any of our producers, and introduce yourselves to us, Chris will personally take you to the nearest gas station and buy you some heat lamp chicken that's been sitting under a heat lamp. If you're lucky, the gizzards will still be left.
I would lean more towards the burrito that's been there since 11 a.m.
The burrito, yeah. The petrified burrito.
Hey, appreciate it, guys. We also have a phone number you can call and leave a message. Tell us hi. Give us some show ideas. Something you'd like to hear us talk about from the 70s or 80s. You're not going to get a response there. Just a heads up.
No,
we're not going to talk to anybody.
It'll be a voicemail. It'll be me basically going, hey, leave a message. I didn't sound exactly like that, but you get the idea.
501-697-9933.
One more time.
501-697-9933.
Oh, man. All right, folks. Kicking off to the topic of today. Kind of a sad situation. I'm going to give you a little background on this. My son Ryan and I actually had tickets to go see Aerosmith in Tulsa this November, and it had actually been postponed from the previous year. And so we were really looking forward to that. In 2023, Steven Tyler, for all intents and purposes, broke his vocal box. Yeah. Broke it. and tried to recover. They rescheduled the concerts, but then this announcement was on their website on August the 2nd of 2024. It says, important touring announcement. It was 1970 when a spark of inspiration became Aerosmith. Thanks to you, our Blue Army, that spark caught flame and has been burning for over 5 decades. Some of you have been with us since the beginning, and all of you are the reason we made rock and roll history. It has been the honor of our lives to have our music become part of yours. In every club, on every massive tour, and at moments grand and private, you have given us a place in the soundtrack of your lives. We have always wanted to blow your mind when performing. As you know, Stephen's voice is an instrument like no other. He has spent months tirelessly working on getting his voice to where it was before his injury. We have seen him struggling despite having the best medical team by his side. Sadly, it is clear that a full recovery from his vocal injury is not possible. We have made a heartbreaking and difficult but necessary decision as a band of brothers to retire from the touring stage. We are grateful beyond words for everyone who was pumped to get out on the road with us one last time. Grateful to our expert crew, our incredible team, and thousands of talented people who have made our historic runs possible. A final thank you to you, the best fans on planet Earth. Play our music loud, now and always. Dream on. You've made our dreams come true. And that was on Aerosmith's website.
That's
classy. That's a classy ballad
it
right
is.
there.
It is, and it's sad that medically he can't do it anymore, and I get it.
By all reports I had heard, even up before he had that injury, at his age, he could still bring it.
Yeah.
And that's me. If you can still bring it, then by all means keep touring.
Sure.
Keep doing what you're doing. As long as the people want to hear it and you're able to do it, then go out there and do it.
Yeah.
And they made the decision to not do that at this time.
Well, you got, at the end of the day, you got to take care of your health.
Yeah.
And I get it.
And these guys have been, like I said, since 1970.
Yeah.
They've been going. And one of the premier American rock and roll bands of all time.
Absolutely.
To me, they're up there with the Eagles. They're up there with any of the top tier American rock and roll acts of that time. I want to spend a little bit of time today talking about Aerosmith. Like I said, formed in 1970 in Boston. The members are Steven Tyler, who was the vocalist for Aerosmith, Tom Hamilton, Joey Kramer, Joe Perry, and Brad Whitford. And they had a number of studio albums out there. I'm going to tell you, Chris, I got into Aerosmith probably in the mid-'80s before I actually started listening to
I was listening to him before that because
you have a brother.
Yeah, an older brother.
And at the time I started listening to them, they had actually, at that time in the early to mid-'80s, had dipped in popularity. They had dipped. They had kind of hit the low point. A lot. If you read about their personal history at that time, they were strung out on drugs. They didn't like each other, all sorts of interpersonal conflicts, and they had gotten to where they weren't just selling tickets anymore.
Right.
And as a matter of fact, for a while, Joe Perry wasn't in the band. He left to do the Joe Perry Project, and several other members. I believe it was Brad Whitford left for a little while to do the Whitford St. Holmes band that he formed with Derek St. Holmes, who had been with Ted Nugent for so long. So, that it was kind of a turmoil time, but something in the mid-'80s, I got a copy of Toys in the Attic and started listening to it, and I went, you know what? And I actually originally got it for 2 songs.
And I know which two.
Which is Walk This Way and Sweet Emotion.
Yeah.
But that whole album
is great.
You can listen to it front to back, side to side, and it's going to be.
The title track is awesome.
Oh, it's I
love the title track.
I saw them open a show with that, and it's just, to me, Aerosmith was a great concert. I got to see them twice. I saw them twice. I saw them in the mid-'80s when it kind of started to come. Yeah, 87. Ted Nugent opened that show.
We were there together.
Yeah, it was a great show. And then I saw him again, I think, in the early mid-2000s.
Yeah, I saw him in Verizon.
Yeah, and I think Cheap Trick opened for that one.
It was the Cult. open for him when I saw him.
Yeah, you had high expectations for the Cult.
I did,
They
and
did
I was
not.
very disappointed.
Yeah.
But you mentioned that album. The second and third album is Get Your Wings and Toys in the Attic, and those
Yeah.
are the two that I grew up with my brother. Get Your
Yeah.
Wings, he was playing all the time.
Yeah.
And then of course Toys in the Attic. I think that was their, for me, that was their premier
That was
album.
the premier one.
Now they gained popularity in the mid '80s after they did the duet with Run DMC.
Yes,
with
and
Walk
then-
This Way.
yeah.
The video really catapulted them back into the spotlight.
Yep.
And then they came out with some big hits in the '80s.
Permanent Vacation was the
Yes.
album they put out right after they had that comeback hit with the Run DMC video.
Yeah. And that was a cool video.
That was a very cool video. That at the time was very groundbreaking.
It
because
was.
You had rap and you had rock. It's kind of the first time they kind of put the two genres together. But they had, and like I said, you get to their late '80s, early '90s. Pump, pretty good album.
Yeah,
it was a pretty good album as well. Get a Grip. I would say that as they went on from Pump, they started. I don't know. They brought in outside writers. They kind of, I don't know that. I don't want to say wimpy, but they very much played to top 40 radio with a lot of their songs during those times.
But you know what, man? You say that, and there were several bands that did that, and it kept their career going. Van Halen was one of them. They pumped out some stuff with Sammy Hagar that wasn't original Van Halen.
No, it was not. That's a whole other show, and I have opinions on that for sure.
I'm just saying that a lot of bands were doing that because that's the way music was going. So it kept them alive.
It did. But I can tell you that I believe you and I had talked about this on a previous, and you had mentioned about Steven Tyler's energy level.
Oh my gosh!
The first time we saw him,
crazy.
He had just gotten clean and sober, and we thought he was old then. It was he's probably late 30s.
Yeah.
But he was all over the stage. He never stopped the entire show, and just an amazing performer and singer.
That was
a great show.
That was a better show to me in '87 than the one that I saw later when they were hugely popular and they're selling out major arenas. And but that '87 tour, I don't even remember which album they were doing. What album?
That was Permanent Vacation.
Was it?
Yeah, that was the one that had Love in an Elevator.
Yeah.
And they started doing video hits again. That's, like I said, that Run DMC video just literally revived their career.
It did, and I don't know why MTV has gotten away from doing videos.
That's a whole other thing. I mean, I've got reasons, but it's too much to get in here. A lot of it is that you can watch anything you want to anytime, 24/7 now. So. It's kind of like the difference in when you had music videos playing, you didn't know what was coming next, and so it was kind of an event thing for us to watch videos.
So MTV comes out, we're teenagers, young teenagers, and then grow up with it in the '80s, and everywhere you went, if it was a get together or a party, it's playing on the TV in the background, and it's just rolling. Everybody's jamming. You'd stop and you'd watch a
turn
little
up the
bit.
TV, and that was your music, and it was also entertainment. You turned around and watched the videos that were in there. But Aerosmith had a great run, and as far as videos go, they really had some great videos.
They did.
In the second half of their career.
They did.
And
that the videos launched his daughter's career. Liv.
They did, yeah. Which is an interesting story there. Steven Tyler's daughter, Liv Tyler, and she's an actress. She's been in a lot of stuff.
She has.
But she actually grew up thinking that she was Todd Rundgren's daughter.
Really?
Until she got... Now, you look at them side by side. He marked that girl. I mean, she looks...
It's definitely his daughter.
Yes, definitely. And so, but, she grew up thinking that and did not know until she was like almost an adult.
Yeah,
that who her real dad was. So yeah, kind of an interesting little side story there. Listen, you pick up a lot of useless information when you were a DJ back in the '80s. You just pick up a lot of stuff.
Who's the Alicia Silverstone? Is that who's in the video with
yes.
her? She was a hot topic.
Yeah.
At that time, and then Liv's in the video with her, and they're doing the Thelma and Louise thing, basically driving. And Liv's a nice looking girl. There's no doubt about it.
No doubt about it. And she's in Lord of the Rings too.
That's what I'm saying. It kind of launched her career.
Nerds. Yeah. Sorry. Nerds. Nerds. We are nerds. But yeah, so off the top of your head, doesn't have to be in any particular order, some of your favorite Aerosmith songs.
Oh, definitely. It's all pretty much off of Toys in the Attic for me.
Mm-hmm.
Toys in the Attic's one of my favorites. Of course, Sweet Emotion, Walk This Way, big 10-inch record. That's got
all of that on that album.
That's got a different meaning for me.
Yeah.
There's people, if you know, it's nothing what you're thinking it is. It was a group we had in high school, and that was the theme song. So it was kind of cool.
Yeah, exactly. But when I think I'm thinking of some more obscures like "Draw the Line," great song, "Kings and Queens," "Train Kept a Rolling."
Yeah, "Back in the Saddle."
I love that
that's
song.
The one he showed off his physical prowess on stage when he just took off running and kept running and kept running. And it's like, oh crap, he's gonna die.
Yeah.
So
I thought you said he quit cocaine. It's like.
Dream On is probably their swan song in my eyes.
Oh, it's the biggest song. If every band I think has a signature song. That's theirs.
I think so too.
For sure.
And the thing about it is that movie, Dazed and Confused, that came out. That's a cult classic. If you haven't seen the movie, it's really cool, and it's really it's an homage to growing up in the 70s. Basically, that's how it was, Jack. But their whole thing is getting Aerosmith tickets. That's the whole movie, basically.
Getting Aerosmith tickets.
Yeah, and going to see Aerosmith. That's a hot ticket for the summer. So, kind of a cool deal for me. I don't know. As far as after Toys in the Attic, I mean, there's. You can pick songs off of albums.
You pick songs, almost every one of them. They had something that stayed in their catalog.
Right, that was good.
But, to me, those first three albums, especially 2 and 3, which is Get Your Wings and Toys in the Attic, I'm right there with you. To me, that's like if someone was going to ask me, well, who's Aerosmith? I just put on Toys in the Attic. And that's Aerosmith. Go. Yeah, that's it.
Well, they come out of that early 70s hard rock that has a different style, different sound. We've talked about this, and I think we're going to do a show about that.
Ladies and gentlemen, spoiler, next episode, we're talking 70s hard rock.
Yep.
So next week, I'm just telling you, 70s hard rock.
That's what it'll be.
Chris is not even going to change his shirt.
I'm not.
Yeah.
Because
neither am I.
Foghat, baby.
Foghat. But we'll have a lot of stories and stuff about bands we've seen back then, and so kind of talking 70s hard rock classics, of which Aerosmith is definitely one of those bands.
Yeah, absolutely.
I
was just going to say it's a sad day to hear this announcement, but totally get it and understand.
It's like I mentioned an episode ago. There's a lot of these classic rock bands that are touring right now. If you want to hear this music live by some of the people that were in the band at the time, maybe go see them, because you just don't know at this point. They're starting to get to an age now where anything could happen.
That's right. I'll give y'all an example. My son, he doesn't really like to go to concerts, and I've tried to talk him into going to several, but he told me that one time he wanted to see the Eagles, and so I got tickets and I took him to Verizon.
Yeah.
The last time they were here.
Yeah.
And he wasn't very old at the time. I mean, he's almost 6 feet tall now, but he could barely see.
Was this was this Glenn's last time?
Yep, it was his. I mean, literally, Glenn Fry died 6 months later.
Yeah.
And Cannon looked at me and said, "Dad, I'm so glad you took me to see him before he died." And I'm like, "That's what it's all about."
Yeah, it is.
You got to go when you get the chance.
You got to go when you get the chance and go see these bands. I'll tell you right now. A band that we go see anytime that they're in the area, and luckily they come through quite a bit, and that's Night Ranger.
Yeah,
because it's got most of the original members in there, and they sound fantastic.
Yeah,
like I said, we went and saw. We talked about a couple of episodes ago that we.
Wait a minute, you've seen Styx in concert?
Maybe a couple of times. The thing is my son Ryan is like a super fan, so I've been more than most people would. To see Styx.
He's on the payroll.
Yeah. Just point of order. I'm a paid employee of the Styx. No, I'm kidding. I had to mention their name at least once a podcast, so So I
Good
get
Lord.
paid. I wish, man. I wish I could mention
That would be cool.
Sticks. Thank you. That'd be $100. But but these bands, they have a finite career. And here's the thing. I remember us being kids and thinking that music was just going to be available to us forever. And it will be in some form. You know. But as far as being able to go, and then it's like I guess I noticed about 10 to 20 years ago, I guess, when I first started thinking, man, some of these guys are just not going to be able to keep doing this.
So there's a movie that I watched not too long ago, and I cannot remember the name of it right now. I'm drawing a blank. But a guy somehow gets sucked into an alternate reality. He's a musician. He's a starving musician.
Yeah.
But he goes and he plays some old Beatles songs.
Oh, in a world that never had the Beatles.
Yes. And he's an instant hit. And
I remember that movie. I haven't seen it, but that's a neat concept.
Every song he put out was solid gold, baby. It was just, and he was just on top of the world. But he didn't feel right about it.
Right.
It's kind of cool.
Yeah.
So what he's saying is true. I mean, if you get a chance to go see these bands, go.
Yeah.
Just go.
Dude, because Ryan is heartbroken. My son Ryan, he was so looking forward, and I really wanted him to see Aerosmith.
Yeah. And,
this happened. And so, it's a sad situation, but I have to say the way they've handled it is with class.
Sure.
And, that's a good way, if you're going to go out, bow out with class, dignity, and, not try to.
Hell no, man. Go out in flames.
Or crash and burn, Go out there, make a money grab.
I'm a man, damn it! I'm going out in flames.
I'm going out. I'm going to lip sync to the show. Which let's not.
Yeah, well,
don't. They're not going to milli vanilli.
You know it's true.
Ooh, ooh, ooh. I faked you out
for millions of dollars.
For millions of dollars. You mean we ain't got to sing? We just got to get over here and look pretty and dance. I'm in.
Well. We might get up there and sing and dance, but
yeah, that's true. Dude, thanks for being here today.
Oh man,
as
anytime.
Always,
anytime.
Guys, we.
Well, it's not like I am part of the show, so I have to be here.
Well, yeah, thanks for being here, so we could record the show. We need to do that, sometime.
Like I'm doing him a favor.
Well, it was my fault last week. It was my fault.
Hey, you can't control these things, man.
As a matter of fact, you heard me coughing a little bit tonight. I still got left over from that. So it's a thing. So and bad back, all of that. I do have a bad back.
I still don't believe the whole jumping out of bed story, but whatever.
No, man, when you hear "whoa" from your dog, you will move quickly.
Yes, you will.
Yes, you will. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the Retro Show. This is Chris Curtis. I am Butch Renfro, and we
are out of here.
We are. Listen, we certainly appreciate you listening each and every
Absolutely.
week. We love coming here and doing these shows. As long as you keep listening, we'll keep doing this mess for you, okay? Listen, I love all of you. I like a couple of you. Go out and make your day, people.
AMF, guys.